this.
Yeah, so etiquette, and we'll get onto it in a minute.
We might get there. We might just spend this episode just chatting shit to each other.
Just getting angry.
See what we can get angry about. Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On this episode, we talk about etiquette because it's crazy busy in the water at the moment.
Crazy busy, yes.
I mean, we should have done this episode at the start of the summer.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, by the time this comes out, it's actually going to be like quieter.
But you know, it'd be relevant for
relevant for people who are learning, or people who have now gone surfing in the summer and gone, actually, I want to really get into it, and this will take you to the next step. And it might be useful for people who know what they're doing as well, to just refresh yourself on a bit of etiquette. And we're also going to talk about the fun times we used to have surfing before we knew anything, like last week.
Yeah, the kind of the bliss of being a newbie.
Yeah. Before we get into that one, we've got a new discount code for you, and that is for COSIN. Have you heard about COSIN, Leighton?
I've heard about COSIN because you've been telling me about them, Peter. So COSIN are an outdoor lifestyle and clothing brand based in the Southwest.
They were started up in lockdown by two friends, Joel and Andy, and COSIN, the word COSIN actually means good friend in Cornish.
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing again, isn't it? Surfers starting up brands and ideas in lockdown and things like that. You know, surfers doing something for the surf community. And I really like their ethos and all that is ocean, nature, people, which is cool.
I was going to say, I really like the fact that like everything about them, from their packaging to their stickers, like the stickers are biodegradable, the packaging is all recycled and recyclable materials, clothing's made from like 85% organic cotton and like 15% recycled polyester. T-shirts are screen printed. It's just their whole everything about them, and they've sent us some T-shirts, and they were really nice.
Yeah, I like the designs on them. We both got different designs, didn't we? They're really cool.
Yeah,
and I just like it when surfers do stuff like this. And you know, when we had Hugo Tagholm on, CEO of Surfers Against Sewage, and he said that it's the responsibility of industry with regards to the environment. You know, so you know, if you go to the supermarket and there's no other options but to buy things in plastic, that's not our fault, but it's put on us, isn't it? So I like the fact that they're doing things like that, like all their packaging is sustainable and recyclable, and so's the clothing. Plus,
they also give back to the communities as well, so they're giving a percentage of what they make from this back to I think there's St Ives skate park at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so kids that can't afford to buy skateboards and equipment to go skating, they're giving money to that charity. So that's really cool as well, because they're small charities which struggle, because people will, if they've got money to spare to give to charities, they'll generally give it to the larger charities. So, you know, because they have like a bigger reach and all that kind of stuff. And so like little charities like this, which will make a big impact on those kids' life. And, you know, now, you know, skating's in the Olympics. Who knows? There might be a kid that they've bought a skateboard for that ends up winning a gold medal for the UK in skateboarding. So you never know, do you, with stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, that's worth doing it.
Yeah.
Just buying something off them just for that. They got loads more information about them on their website. They're totally eco-friendly and everything as well. So go and check them out and get 10% off your order with the discount code UKSurf10. So the other two codes we'll stick on at the end of the show, which are the codes for North Core and the Logfin code. So if you want those codes as well, carry on listening and you'll get them at the end of the show.
It's to make you listen.
Yes, listen all the way through. So should we start with talking about the fun? Right, so basically how I got to this part of this episode was having a chat with someone on Instagram. Zoe, her name is, and she said she lives in Taunton, and she was surfing with a friend of hers who came surfing, and they were out on a day, and it was like a perfect like 2 to 3 foot like lovely glassy wave. Everything was perfect, no wind and everything. Her friend paddled out to the back with her, sat there for a bit and went, well, this is boring, and went back in and just surfed in the white water. And like she said, it was these like days of like perfect waves. But it's that thing of like when you were in the white water, having fun, not knowing anything about surfing, not checking a surf forecast, not seeing what direction the wind's blowing, not knowing that feeling of riding a glassy wave. How many times did we used to go down like on those sort of days? We used to go of like, oh fuck it, right? Sunday we go surfing.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah. And the only time I can remember starting to check surf forecasts, you just looked at the breaking wave height and nothing else.
Yeah.
So it would be like
was only
5 foot, blowing a hoolie. You go, oh my God, it's 5 foot, let's go.
Yeah. And that was only because we only started checking the wave height because the one time we went down and you wanted to hire surfboards, and the bloke in the Woolacombe Bay surf shop, I think at the time, went, no, you'll die.
Yeah, it was an actual storm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the breaking wave height was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Not that we could have surfed that anyway.
Yeah, so that was that conversation got started, and I was like, that used to be such a great time of like, and I don't know if there's something in it, because when we went surfing not long ago with, we took your boy with us.
Yeah.
And he was like a bit further in, and I came a bit further in for a while and surfed with him in that like whiter water area for a bit. And I had great fun. Again.
It's almost like the pressure gets taken away.
Yeah.
Because, it's, I don't know, you don't feel like you got to perform.
Yeah, there was that. It's that thing, like, there's nothing, like you say, there's no performance, there's nothing on you, you're just like dicking around and having a laugh.
Yeah.
But
that also with that, though, now we're at the level where you're kind of riding on broken waves and stuff. It might be all right to go back to ride in whitewater and cocking around for a bit, but when that day comes and there's those beautiful waves, and you know what that feeling's like now of being on that unbroken wave, and that noise, and the fact that we can move along the wave nicely now and really like kind of enjoy it. There's nothing going to be compared to that. But I know what you mean.
No.
It's like,
I know what you mean as well. Though. I think now I'm thinking about what you were just talking about, and you were thinking about the white waves, thinking about the other things now.
Yeah, so you're like, yeah, this is stupid. Of course, unbroken waves are better.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of naivety in it of riding white.
And I miss that.
Yeah,
like
being a bit naive.
Like to not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Like.
It's because it's a pain in the ass checking the forecast all the time, and like when you've got spare time,
and then you check on fucking magic fucking wankweed and it lies. But that's the biggest pile of crap ever.
It's difficult.
There's a new one, the Lazy Surfer app, which I'm going to look at as well, because I've seen people posting stuff about that, and that looks like something that might be quite useful, because you put in the conditions it is on that day, and then it will show you when the conditions line up again. So if you've had an amazing surf and it was like the wind was blowing this direction, the wave height was this, the swell height was this, and you put all that information in, when a day like that comes back around and the conditions lines up, you'll go, oh, this should be good again to surf here. And you can do it about different spots all over the place.
Oh, that's quite a good idea.
So yeah, I think it's something I might look at. But
yeah, but now it's got to the point where if we get free time and you check the app and it says it's crap and we don't go, and you're like, that's a potential surf day lost, when you could have gone down and just had a laugh anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But if you live closer, then you would do that, wouldn't you? It's because like we know, a lot of UK surfers are inland, and
that's the thing though. You can look at the forecast and you can go, oh, it looks terrible. It looks terrible, and then you go, oh yeah, I'm going to leave it today. I'm not going to drive down there just for that. And then you look at the cameras, and you'll go, oh bloody hell, I wish I'd gone down now.
Yeah. Well, I went on holiday. When this comes out, it won't be last week, but as of time of recording, it was last week. Down to Woolacombe, and surf forecast was awful, but we still got in, and because we were there, so we'll get in the water. And I still actually surfed down there. Like, the conditions were really difficult. It's like, like that washing machine where you're searching for peaks.
Yeah.
It was that, but I surfed in there. So, what's the difference? You may as well go down when you're free. As long as it's not flat, then maybe we should just go.
I think that's a bit into the, like, looking back into the naivety again, that, like we said before. And because we have both been training as well recently, which we'll talk about in a later episode down the line, me and Leighton have been on a new training program, and I said to you, did it help you catching a wave? And you said you were catching things you wouldn't have normally even paddled for.
No. Well, now it's got to the point where you know what it's like when it's like a washing machine.
Yeah.
As we around, I could see a peak forming, motor for it and get it and go and then be back and like be able to wear that. That's the biggest thing. Like we will go into it in another episode. We've got a really cool episode coming up, haven't we? But just like on that kind of subject, it's like you can now pick where you want to be in the water when your fitness level goes up and you're training specifically for something.
Yeah.
The actual difference that makes in your joy on the thing that you love to do is just like kind of invaluable. It's priceless.
Yes. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
That would have been a perfect advert for them.
It would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah. So if we go into the etiquette side of things,
because it has been super busy. So even though by the time this comes out, we'll be out of the school holidays, won't we? Nearly, pretty much. So we'll be getting slightly quieter. And so this for non-holiday makers in the water, so for proper surfers, whether they're locals or inland, this is when it starts to get good. Because if I remember rightly, most years October, swell's good, sea's still warm, crowds are gone. So I'm looking forward to that this year. The only bad thing is the nights start drawing in and we can't go down after work.
Yeah,
this is a shame, because normally by now we would have had quite a few evening surf sessions, and we've had
it's been shit,
shockingly awful flat spell or shit spell. This whole month it's been terrible.
This is the most you've ever sworn in an episode. I think, so far.
The only reason why I've managed to surf this month is because I was down on holiday and I was going to get in the water no matter what, because the board was in the van.
Yeah,
and there's no way the board's going to go all that way and not get wet.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to people that are like living down there, they've been managing to get in early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
They just said it's been absolutely, the whole thing's just been a snarl up.
Yeah. I don't know how they get it work.
It's hideous. The whole, we've left Saunton at 9:30 in the morning. The car park's been closed and the traffic's been back to the motorway. So that's like 40 miles of traffic trying to get into Woolacombe, Croyd,
Trying to get into Saunton car park.
It's just nuts at 9:30 in the morning. It's just there's no hope for you if you live down there. I'm sorry, there's just no hope for you.
No, I do feel sorry for the locals down there, because as much as you say you'd want to live down there by the surf break and all that, that's great for like 6 or 7 months of the year, but for the rest of the time it's a ball ache. Like trying to get just normal life down there. Yeah, would be really difficult this time. Yeah,
absolutely hideous.
Yeah, so etiquette. And we'll get onto it in a minute.
We might get there. We might just spend this episode just chatting shit to each other,
just getting angry.
See what we can get angry about. Well, I mean, first thing of etiquette, before you even go into the etiquette side of it, and before you even go into the water, is checking your equipment. Yeah,
and this really, I suppose, is the etiquette side of it, as just like before we get into it as well, is mainly aimed at surfers that have progressed past the white water, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So past that fun bit, and you
past the fun bit. What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? Past that fun, not caring bit, like
when you're starting to take it a bit more seriously,
you're starting to take it more serious, and you're going out past that white water into those unbroken waves, or you're at that point in between where you sort of sometimes you're catching an unbroken, sometimes it's white. You're in that zone there, or you're moving past.
Yeah, progressing then. Yeah,
or you're just a complete ignorant knob and you're just going for it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but checking your equipment, like checking things like your board, your leash is attached properly.
Yeah. Even the Velcro on the
your Velcro's not gone.
The amount of boards I saw, just kind of getting washed in when I was down there, just because the amount of people in there, and then obviously the chance of a leash kind of coming undone is greater because there's more people. There's at least 2 or 3, and I've actually seen that in the wave as well a few times in the Bristol wave.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention about the wave. If you're going to book the wave, go for our website and book the wave, because we get a little kickback from it then, because we're part of their affiliate program. So if you are going to book the wave,
a good way to support us. Yeah, if you book at the wave quite a lot, then if you could just go through us, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, thanks.
We've actually had that set for a while, but we forget to mention it every single time.
Yeah. So yeah, checking your equipment first thing before you even go in the water, and then you go to like flags and conditions. These are things you should be checking in etiquette before you get into the water.
Yeah, so that's generally again in the summer months, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. So you've got like your red and yellow flag, which is your swimming area, your black and white flag, which is your surfing area, a red flag that means don't go out, it's dangerous, and then if you're outside the flagged areas, you're sort of on your own.
Yeah, you're not really watched by the lifeguards, are you? But
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're in trouble and they saw you, they'd come and get you.
That's a good one, actually, trouble. So one of the other things as well is helping out other surfers. If you do see another surfer in trouble or someone in danger or in trouble when you're in the water, help them out.
Yeah, and particularly in the winter when the lifeguards aren't on duty, then you kind of are responsible for all your fellow surfers.
Yeah.
Coming on to that, the Scottish surfer Mitch,
Yeah.
what he said about learning CPR, it's not for you. It's the most selfless thing you can do. So I would urge people, if they haven't listened to the episode, to go back and listen to the Scottish surfer episode we recorded and check him out online. And we did put a video, didn't we, on?
Yeah, he did a nice video, said thank you to us for the support, and like it was on the Instagram.
Yeah.
He put a video out saying thanks for the support, and he was going to film with ITV.
Yeah.
I said to him that there's a challenge for you, see how many times you can mention the UK Surf Show on the ITV.
I don't reckon he's going to do that.
His response was, I'll do that if your next guest you have on, that your response to everything they say is, yeah, the Scottish surfer said that.
But if you go online and just type in CPR, and it's like a 10-minute video, isn't it?
It's on our website as well, on the Scottish Surfers episode.
Yeah.
The CPR videos are on there. I think there's 3 different videos I put on the actual page for his episode. So go to our website, have a look at that, and just learn a basic bit of CPR or what to do if someone's in trouble.
Yeah. So that is not a general rule for etiquette, but it is a nice thing, especially to help out your fellow.
So while
surfers.
we're on that as well, so there's like the early sides of the like sort of pre-etiquette, we could call this, which is know where you are surfing and know what your ability is.
Yeah,
like,
so
this goes back to what we were saying earlier as well about when Leighton wanted to go out in like
crazy conditions,
10 million foot surf, like whatever it was,
400 mile an hour winds.
it was
Couldn't even carry the board down to the beach. It was just been blown away.
It's one of those, one of those days when you can stand on the sand dunes and you can like lean at like 45 degrees outwards because it's that windy. It was
and
like
you can't
that.
see because all the sand is like.
Well, if
being
the
blown
day
off the
we're
beach.
talking about, I think we talked about in a very early episode, the white water was hitting. The end of the white water was hitting the top of like Woolacombe where the beach ends. But
and the road starts.
may as well have been. But the waves were like breaking out where it was if it was like low tide. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
We
it was just
killed.
Yeah, it was just a really like, it must have been like 200 or 300 meters of white water or something, maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So paddling out.
Yeah. So knowing where you are. So by that you mean doing a little bit of research on the surf break you'll go into.
Yeah. If you're going to surf, So if you're going to surf somewhere and it's gnarly conditions and it's the first time you've been there, it's probably not best time to go out there.
Yeah.
So like say, let's take Saunton for example, because it's where we surf, where we know we surfed it. You can surf it well on a 2 to 4 foot day, and it's nice and mellow and easy, low wind, everything like that. You can surf it on a day 5 to 8 foot when the wind's howling a bit more and the peaks are a bit steeper and it's a bit more it's a bit more squeaky bum time, like definitely like there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing your ability and knowing where you're surfing, what happens at these breaks where you are.
Yeah, where there's rips and things like that. But anyway, research where you're going.
Yeah, research if there's any rips, any currents, what there is there. If there's anything underneath it, research, know where you're going.
Yeah, and you said about ability, and that's just being honest with your ability, isn't it? I know you need to push a little bit to get better. To get better. Yeah, but don't go from nothing to Kelly Slater in one session. So
it's a lot to. It's like just, like you say, knowing your ability is...
It's being honest with your ability.
Be honest with yourself. So don't, you may think you're better than you are.
Which most surfers probably do.
Yeah.
So paddling out then, let's do it from the foot. So we've done everything on the beach that you do out of the sea, on land. So then paddling out.
Yeah. Paddling out. Don't be a twat.
Session over. That's it.
Literally. Don't paddle out directly behind someone.
Yeah.
Don't paddle out and if a big wave comes, ditch your board. Don't paddle out and if someone's taking off on a wave and they're going left, don't try and paddle in front of them. Paddle round and behind them towards the white water.
Yeah.
That covers paddling out. Don't do any of that.
do you want to elaborate a little bit? So ditching your board. So
right, yeah, these are things that happen often and irritate me. So I don't know if you could have told by that or not.
Yeah.
So people, right? So far, I think this year so far, and it's bearing in mind it's been a pretty crap year for us surfing this year, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So far, I've nearly been hit in the head.
Yeah. Was this all by me?
No, this isn't even by you. If it was by you, it's all right, It's all right. You can sort of let it go and laugh about it if it's your mate, can't you? But some kid ditched his board and it missed my head by like millimetres.
Yeah. So let's clarify ditching your board. So when you're paddling out and a wave breaks towards you, hold on to your board. Don't just let go of it.
Hold on no matter what.
Yeah. And let the wave take it because, for instance, on a longboard, we got 9'6" longboards. Yeah. The leash is 9 foot long. That's like an 18-foot kill radius.
It literally is.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
But it is, isn't it? Yeah. So, whatever board you got is twice as long, isn't it? The kill radius.
Yeah. So, I mean, you think, like, if you're not knowing what you're doing, you've got a longboard and you let go, and there's some smaller kid 10 foot behind you, and your board hits them in the face, that's knocking them out, or like you're killing them basically.
It's really dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're not knocking their teeth out, you're knocking them out. It's really dangerous. So
and then like you said, so selecting where you're paddling out. So if you're paddling directly behind someone and they take off on a wave and you're that close to them, obviously you're going to be in their way. And then if there's somebody on the wave and they're surfing down the line, don't paddle towards the easy bit to get over the wave because that's the way they're travelling. You need to paddle towards the white water that's breaking to their left or right side or wherever they're surfing to get out of their way, because there is nothing more irritating when you're on a wave and really enjoying it.
The best wave is always the best wave, isn't it?
And you see someone paddling into your line and you're like, you're kidding? Yeah. Like that. And if you got to pull off the wave, then it's annoying, and obviously you don't want to. Well, you do want to travel over them, but you don't. But
you do want to take them out. Yes, yeah, definitely.
So that's paddling out.
That's paddling out.
So line up them.
Don't drop in on people.
So basically, dropping in on someone is when somebody's already on that wave. Don't paddle for the same wave. It's that is a no-no. That's probably one of the most serious no-nos for a surfer. There was nothing more irritating.
Right, you've got it depends where you are. On a beach break, it's a bit more difficult because people are taking off everywhere and all over the place. On a point break, it's easier because the waves come in a certain direction, and the person furthest out is their go, and then the next one, and then everyone moves up on like a conveyor belt, basically.
Yeah, they're in
how
in
it
line.
Should work.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's in line. Yeah.
Bearing in mind, if you're somewhere like, we'll take Saunton again, for example, because it's the only place we seem to surf nowadays.
Yeah, we always keep talking about it, don't we?
Right, it's just easy because we surf there a lot. We can explain things on this beach, on this break, on this episode. Right, so if we're on a longboard and there's someone surfing on a shortboard, we can be, in theory, further out, catch the wave quicker. But if we did that every single time, the guy on the shortboard who's further in is going to get pretty pissed off. So it's about having the respect for other people, waiting your turn, letting someone else take a wave. Not every wave out there is yours. The people that really piss me off about it, there's locals that do that. I'm pointing my pen at you in anger now.
Well, that is because we both had an issue with a guy.
I'm not going to even call him a guy, he was a twat.
Yeah. So he was obviously a very, very good surfer, had really good paddle strength. And so we were queuing like you do, ready for to catch a wave. people in a priority because they've been waiting for longer, and he had a massive longboard. It must have been like a 10-foot thing.
Yeah.
Paddles past everyone, and he could just get anything. Getting it, coming back in, going back out, getting it. And what I did see, that he was shouting at other people getting on the wave. So this is probably the only time I think it's okay to drop in on someone, when they're being a prick.
Yeah.
Because I did it in the end. I did it. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I'm not just going to sit here and watch this guy surf, you know, like he's a really good surfer. And he was timing it very well, where he was always getting the best wave in the set, you know, like he's never going for the first one. It's always like, you know, the second or third on that day seemed to be the better wave. And he was managed to paddle back out for the next set. It was really fucking irritating. You're like, God, why is he was in the right place? So clearly knew what he was doing. So I just dropped in a couple of times. I think he shouted at you, me, and my son. So my son was a bit further in. Yeah. And he was riding the wave really far in. So then you're going into the territory of people learning, and he was still shouting at them. And so that was really bad. I thought that doesn't promote surfers as nice people.
That was the one you gave him some choice words.
And I think, what did you like, splash him or something?
No, that was a different time altogether. Did you splash him? That's how you just said. Yeah. Get back, fiend! No, no, that was a different one altogether. But that was, I won't go into that one. Anyway, so don't drop in, don't snake people. So snaking is like you either get on their wave, or if you're on a wave like further down and they're coming down the line, then like pulling out in front of them basically, and just don't. If you're on a wave and someone's coming down that wave and they got on it before you,
just don't get.
Just get off it. Yeah, just get off the wave. It's that simple.
Well, they're actually like you said, with beach breaks, it's a bit more difficult because the wave doesn't always just break from left to right or right to left.
Yeah.
So there can be people getting on the wave further down, and that's going to be a bit of a judgment call, isn't it, by that surfer? He might be able to think, I'm further down. So this happened to me as well. So I was on the wave, and another surfer got on the wave, and he was, you know, I don't know what it'd be in meters, but he was far enough away from me that there was no way I was going to catch him. And he apologised afterwards, and I said, don't worry, mate. You were, you know, miles away. You know, there's no way I was going to catch you. It's fine. Right?
So that brings us on as well nicely to apologies. Don't be too big to apologise.
Yeah, don't be afraid to apologise, because
it goes a long way.
It does go a long way, because you instantly changes your preconception of the person that's just dropped in on you, which it easily done, because you know some people come down the line really quickly. Yeah, sometimes you judge it wrong and you think, oh, they're not going to get that wave, I'm going to paddle for it anyway, and then they did get the wave. Or you know, you think, oh, they're not going to go that way, they're going to go left maybe, and it ends up breaking the wrong way.
Especially longboarders, one of the good longboarder tricks is to like paddle left as you take off, so you're taking off looking like you're going left, and then instantly turn to the right, or paddling right and, you know, instantly turning to the left. That's a longboarder thing to do.
So if something like that happens, just be honest and apologise. Sorry, mate, you know.
And also respect the local people, respect the beach, respect the sea. Especially the locals. I know they get to surf it more and stuff, but you know, they live down there, it's their home, and they don't want... It must be pretty horrible, like we said earlier on, of all these people descending on where they live. And so they're probably already a little bit pissed off, you know, and all they want to do is the thing they love in their hometown. So you just need to, just a bit of respect for them. Yeah, I think that's like, you know, that is one of the main things, respecting the local people. I'm going to say it, as long as the local people respect you as well. Like, I mean, because
it's not theirs. No. You know, even though they live there, you know, it's not their beach. It's like, not that. Everybody's entitled to be there and to enjoy it as well. Yeah. So you know, it's being respectful, but don't don't be treated like a twat just because you don't live there or whatever. You know. Yeah. This is really hard to say without sounding like a complete arse, but. We had one not long ago. I'm going to say it anyway. We had one not long ago, and two guys surfing. They were quite good. We were out there. We were getting on all right. We were getting a few waves, and you could see them getting a bit irritated and By the amount of people in the lineup, it was busy.
It was busy, Busy. And then one of them said something to the other one, and they both like took off, like just spun and took off at me, and he adjusted his line so he was paddling at me. So I was clear of the area. I was going to get over the wave before his direction, and he adjusted his line so he was actually coming at me, like purposely. You could see it,
like an aggressive move to get you out of the way,
like to like say this is this is my wave, and he could see I was paddling as fast as I could to get out of the way as he turned. He was just really arrogant and aggressive about the whole thing.
Yeah. I do remember the day. Yeah, it's probably the busiest lineup we've ever been in.
Yeah.
And it has been super crazy this summer. I know the surf hasn't been there much, but when it has been there's been so many people trying to grab those waves.
Yeah.
That, tensions are high.
So, you have got to show respect for local people, but,
Well, it'd be the same way. Locals have to show respect for everybody else as well, because...
What is local? Because I know people that go, oh, yeah, that's my local, I live there. Oh, I moved there 10 years ago. Well, are you really local then? Because compared to someone that lived there 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, or, what kind of radius in mileage around that bay is classed as local? Is it 5 miles? Is it 10 miles?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one, but, be respectful, but, just make sure you're respectful to local people. And
I mean, I know, like, we've said about, like, the Bristol Wave before and how it we enjoy it.
If you're going to book the Bristol Wave,
hey, that's a good idea.
You should do it for
our website. Do you know what we
website.
should do? You know what we should do? When we book our own sessions, we should go for our website, because we don't do that either.
Oh, yeah.
How stupid is that?
Oh well.
But that's the good thing about the Wave, is it takes all of that out of the equation.
Yeah, you can't.
There is a queue, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're more like cattle on a conveyor belt waiting going to the slaughter.
It's not like that. It's more like people queuing for a fun ride.
No, it is. It does take that. That's the thing, though. It takes that away, doesn't it, altogether, like you said. So you're in a queue, you're next, go. You messed up, off to the side, round you go, off to the side. Yeah. At the moment, the water's been bloody lovely and warm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Wave, it's like
in the Wave.
Board shorts kind of.
Yeah, board shorts weather. Yeah, and so many people I see out there going. I see people, like, you know how bad it's been, because you see people from like Saunton and Croyd travelling up to go to the Wave.
Yeah.
And I think, you've got it on your doorstep, and it's been that flat for that long. People are just like, no, go to the Wave.
Yeah, or just really shit, not necessarily flat. Like, we had that spell coming in of those high winds, and everything was just blown out. It was just awful. So I'm looking forward to, like, autumn.
Winter's coming.
Yeah, some better stuff. I know it means like warmer wetsuits, but that's not until kind of November-ish, maybe.
You had no clue of the Game of Thrones reference then, did you?
No, I don't watch it. Was there a reference there? Was there?
That October, November, still a little bit warm in the water, a little bit of warmth left, and in there.
Less crowd.
Well, there probably won't be now. There's loads of people be down there.
Oh yeah, October. Let's go.
Yeah. After September, you may as well just go home and pack your stuff up till next winter and not come again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that covers, safety and etiquette it's pretty much common sense. Your main etiquette rules there that we said about are: don't drop in on people, wait in your turn, don't paddle in front of people, don't ditch your board. Yeah.
I mean, they're the big, what's that for? That's the big four, isn't it, really?
And know where you're surfing and know.
Yeah. And like we said at the start, if you want to kind of top up on that etiquette, it'd be really nice if etiquette also included things like learning CPR.
Yeah.
It'd be good if it was at the point where if you didn't, and you were a regular surfer, if you didn't know, and then that was a bit kind of frowned upon as well.
Yeah.
So that's, if you are listening to it and you really would like to enhance your surf skills whilst not being able to surf, if it's crap or whatever, or if you're landlocked, then learn CPR. And like we said, it's the most selfless thing you can do. And check out the Scottish Surfer episode to hear the story about how he used his skills and learning CPR and why it's such a good idea.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it for today. Before we go, don't forget that North Core code is
Surf Show. And if you want money off at logfin.co,
You
The
go.
code is...
The code is the UK Surf Show 10, and that will get you 10% off anything you order there. So, that's it, I think, for our etiquette and fun before you knew anything. And
Fun before you knew anything.
well, you know what I mean. I don't know what it was. So that's pretty much all the babble for this episode.
Yeah, it's been a really busy summer, so yeah, to take on board the etiquette and be safe.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Bye.